Welcome, my beautiful Capricorns, to your February 2026 tarot reading. This, of course, is for Capricorn of all placements and those intuitively guided. There's something I want to tell you before we get into the cards, Capricorn. I need you just to take a deep breath before we even start. I just get this feeling. Um, because February is not about pushing harder for you. It's about something finally shifting for you. There's a clear, um, like karmic cycle closing here. And this is something you've been carrying for a very long time. Um, and, I feel like Spirit is making it clear that you're not meant to keep proving your strength anymore. This reading is about what changes when you finally let go and why February is going to be the turning point for you. So these are all the things I picked up intuitively. Um, but now let's go ahead and turn to the cards and to our guides. So we're going to use 3 different decks, maybe 4. We'll see how it goes. Mother Mary will have the honor of opening up your reading. We will use the crystal vision to clarify and go deep. We go deep here. This is why the readings are longer than, I guess, normal readings. I don't know. Um, because we do go deep. Like, I want you to walk away with complete clarity. And then for the main spread, we're going to use the Universal Tarot. So let's go ahead and begin. I'm going to bring the lid down. That looks good. Take a sip of coffee. And let's start with Mother Mary. Mother Mary's beautiful words of wisdom for Capricorn and those intuitively guided. Okay. Well, okay. I just feel like that wanted to come out also, so I'm going to take it. Going to take it. All right. Number 1. Patience. Patience. I trust in divine timing. Interesting because I feel like well, I just have a feeling that the time for patience is coming to an end. It's interesting. I always look at this unicorn and this fence around this unicorn, and I think if this unicorn wanted to, it could just get up and walk right over that fence, not even have to jump. But it's not. It's being patient. It's feeling like something is coming. Interesting. Wow. I trust in divine timing. So, patience. Oh my gosh, and look at this. And action. So, just like I was feeling, the time for patience feels like it's coming to an end, and the time of action feels like it's now. So, what does it say? Today, I take actions related to the priorities that I have previously put off. And that could certainly apply to some. Um, but I feel like there's a deeper message here of something, energy that just felt stuck. But now it just feels like it's moving, but it feels like it's moving in your favor. I feel like Mother Mary is saying, you are going to have to take action. You are going to have to trust your intuition. But when you do that, well, you just open up this whole new, I want to say path, but let's just say blessings that lie along this path. Okay, Mother Mary, thank you very much. Let's give them a little crystal. And let's go ahead and bring in the main spread. And what I'm doing, Capricorn, this month is I'm doing the Celtic Cross. But we're doing more than just the spread. So we'll do the spread and I'll explain to you as we go along. Many of you know this spread, but for those who don't, I will explain it. Okay, well, there's our current. So each card has its placement. So your first card is current energy. What's happening right now? What do you need to know right now? That type of energy. Number 2, what crosses that? What bridges it? Helps it? Or maybe getting in the way of that? Number 3 is the subconscious mind. Often what I've been picking up lately is like within the dream system. But I feel that for those who may have like a busy mind during the waking hours, and it's like your guides are like, well, this is where we reach you because that's where your mind is quiet. All right, so next, your past. And then the conscious mind. So the subconscious mind and the conscious mind will mirror each other, as will the near future and the past. So they're mirroring each other with this bridge in between. So we'll see what that is. By the way, I choose to put the cards down just because I like the mystery of revealing as we go along. So next is you, all about you. Next is external. Can be influences, can be noise, can be good, can be difficult. We'll see. Then we have your hopes and your fears. And last but not least is what we call the final outcome. Now, this final outcome, it can be changed. And often I feel that's exactly why we're doing a reading. So you can have the best outcome possible. All right, we'll set those over there. Grab one more drink of coffee. It's one of those days where, you just feel like you can't get enough coffee. Okay. Let me just move that out of the way safely. All right. Let's start with the current energy. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, the Chariot. Well, well, wow. Unlimited potential. I feel like the Chariot arrives when we start to understand that it is our intentions that really tell this chariot where to go, not the reins of the horse. So it is the power of your intentions, but the chariot really represents your unlimited potential, does ask for balance. So when you find that balance, and that balance is the inner and the outer you, the light and the shadow, feminine and the masculine, and then also believing in yourself. Like, there doesn't feel like there's any limits on this, I have to say. This feels very, very good. And I'm just noticing a little keyhole. So we'll see if we get a key along the way here. Also card of Cancer, by the way. Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords over that. For some of you, I feel like chances are this is you. Unless you're interested in the Queen of Swords, this Queen of Swords may be coming along for the ride, let's say. But for the majority of you, I feel like this is you. I feel like, and I love this image because I feel like she's speaking her piece, and then it's like a mic drop. I said what I said. I meant what I said. Mic drop. So for some of you, you may like finally be speaking your piece, your truth. And literally, I feel like, and I don't even want anything back. I'm just going to tell you how I feel. I'm going to tell you about this, like the situation, the way I see it. And that's that. That's that. Like, boy, I feel she feels strong within that. All right. Let's go down to the conscious or the subconscious mind. Well, hello, Nine of Pentacles. Hello, successful self-employment. Reaping the benefits of your hard work. This is a very independent energy. But it's really the independence is being able to take care of oneself and doing really well. Some of you, subconsciously, you may want to create a business, and maybe the timing just hasn't felt right. But can I tell you, I get this sense also for some of you, it has, the timing is because there were some experiences that I feel your soul really wanted to understand or learn or clear to then turn around and maybe help others do the same thing. This does not have to be a spiritually based business, but there's definitely spiritual awareness. Like if nothing else, you're starting to see yourself as a spiritual being, not just this human body. So, success, unlimited. Nine of Pentacles, I'm reaping the benefits of my hard work. And there's this little birdie. It's like this little birdie is whispering to her. Right there. Like an epiphany. We'll see. And I want to say for some of you, like you've been laying the groundwork to something. And again, maybe I was waiting for the perfect time. Well, Mother Mary is telling you this is the perfect time. The energy of patience, I feel like is yesterday's news. And now you're all about action. Okay, so let's go to the past. Six of Cups. Someone that I used to know. This is nostalgia. This really speaks to treasured memories. Some of you, you've been thinking about like days gone by. It's interesting. I feel like for a few of you, there's someone on your mind, yet I don't feel like this person carries issues, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not feeling the sense of run. I'm just feeling the nostalgia. So we'll see. We'll see. And can I say also, like, I feel like this is a month for you to express the way you feel. Like, don't hold back. If you feel it, say it. If you mean it, say it. Don't fear it. Speak it. And for some of you, I feel like you're speaking things into existence. So let's go to the conscious mind. Wow. Wow. I get the sense for some of you, like, I'm doing pretty well, on my own. I'm making money. Some of you, like, I own a business, and I feel pretty happy or satisfied. But I feel like maybe the one thing I don't have is a true partner. Some of you, your attention may have been brought back, and I hate saying this all the time in a reading, but, if I don't, I'm kind of negating my own life. I just have a feeling for some. It's like I'm doing pretty well on my money. I do feel pretty independent, but maybe the one thing I don't have is true partnership, true love. This is the marriage card. To me, this is true love. Because I feel like whenever this connection happens, it has the potential of lasting the rest of your lives. And now you got the chariot feeding that energy. And I just simply feel like for some, it's fulfilling that part of your life that maybe you haven't fulfilled yet. True connection. And how do I love the Nine of Pentacles mirroring that? Number one, because I feel you feel strong in that energy. Even if you haven't, like, let's say you wanted to create a business or you have these ideas. I feel like this is a time to really trust in yourself. You know what I mean? Like, trust in yourself. Like the time of planning and that, I feel like that's, take what you have. Don't think you need to know everything. And I feel like, and just get start. Just start. All right, let's go to your near future. Well, the Queen of Cups. Look what she's holding. A cup. Following the marriage card. Or let's just call it true connection. She's actually holding that cup. This can be Cancer. We have Cancer right there. Scorpio or Pisces. And that may apply, but I also feel it's you. And I feel it's you now holding this cup. It's interesting. And by the way, the Queen is mirroring the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups doesn't have to mean like someone I knew when I was a kid. It usually does mean that, but on top of that, it can be anyone that when you think about them, they bring happy memories. Not like, oh my God, what the hell was I thinking type thing. No, it's like you can see yourself making a life with them, even if you don't know how yet. So clearly there is this chemistry that I feel you're meant to trust. Some of you, with this Queen over the Chariot, it could be telling someone that you had enough. You're done. And it may be because there's been someone else on your mind. You have the right to live your life the way you see it. And I don't mean like go around and hurt people. However, if something isn't fulfilling like you expected, you have every right to move on. Because I get a feeling that that's what this Queen is doing. Like no more, mic drop. I'm out of here. I don't feel like there's like I need healed. I mean, maybe I do, but part of me feels like just that mic drop alone brought me this power of reclaiming myself, my life, and maybe a future love. But let's not forget also about the abundance of the Nine of Pentacles. It is in the subconscious mind, so some of are yet to create it. But if you're thinking of creating it, this is saying, and Mother Mary is saying the same thing, do it. All right, let's go to you. The Page of Cups. Huh. All of a sudden, I feel gentle. Like you're in much more gentle type energy. But let's talk about what a page means. So, first of all, the Page of Cups, I often feels like your inner child, the emotional part of you, and what you've been healing, what you've been overcoming. Page can speak of someone like back in the day, but it also speaks about what's in the atmosphere. And this person is holding a cup. Interesting. Some of you, 2025, the year of the hermit, where we were doing that deep reflection so that we could truly live our best lives. It's paying off. It's paying off. And by the way, I feel like a lot of people, and I know this is partly my fault because that's all I talked about, but a lot of people expect like January, especially because we're in the year of the magician, like everything will change, everything will get better. But the truth is, I feel like the year opens softly. And I feel like, as well, if we think about like Aries is the seed planter, it's really where many feel the year begins. And I kind of feel that for you. Like the energy was slow in January. However, as I say that, I also feel the importance of you now knowing, because I get that. Like you now know. All right, well, let's look at the external. Look at that. The Four of Swords. Healing. And this is Mother Mary just watching over you. So, the Four Swords, I want to break this down a little bit for you because this does speak about the healing of past hurt, heartbreak, mind, that thought system that keeps pulling us back to something that we know doesn't really serve us, you know. But there's one sword, you can see it. And this sword, I feel like, is probably the most important sword. Of course, it's important that we heal, but I feel like this is healing, but in a way of where you now understand. You understand yourself in love, in all aspects. This is your truth. Think of the Ace of Swords. And, lately I've been feeling as people were going through this healing energy, again, which is what 2025 was all about. Many were receiving epiphanies, ideas, ways out, ways to help to improve. And some picked up on these ideas and some didn't. I feel like you did. And the other four, just matching it, is the marriage card. All right, let's go to your hopes and fears. Three of Pentacles. Well, I kind of feel like the fear is being my authentic self. And for some of you, that's exactly why the Four of Swords, that's exactly why I talked about that one sword. Because this is you knowing your truth, knowing yourself, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But now being able to balance all that. So I feel like for a while, there it just wasn't trust within yourself. Um, Three of Pentacles speaks about your individuality and how you should be proud of that. The meaning of the card is recognition and reward. So it definitely the energy of other people recognizing your abilities, because I do feel like it's tied back to your money. But it can also be tied to love, because in the Three of Pentacles, you know, first of all, I love the Three of Pentacles as it relates to love, because it means that who's ever loving here, that each is appreciated for being their authentic self, not for wearing a mask, not for pretending I'm someone that I'm not, for being exactly who I am. But then you're being loved for that, but also recognized. So I feel it twofold. And as a fear, the fear could be, is anybody going to accept me for who I am? And the answer is yes. Because in the Three of Pentacles, again, other people are recognizing you. It is about reward. Especially with the Four of Swords right there. If we think of our lives like that we're spiritual beings, then we know that we're going to go through situations and they're going to come to an end. Chapters are going to close. New doors are going to open. And then we're going to do what we do in that path, right? But like everything has its day, everything has its completion, except love and your ability to make money. But you're doing it by being you. You're doing it through your own creative self. Let's put it that way. And it's interesting because it could certainly talk about like using your creativity. There's some of you, I feel like you work with your hands. You know what I mean? Like you work with your hands. And when I say work with your hands, I mean like you could be a bricklayer, or because I feel like my hands are always rough. But to me, that's a sign of a hard worker. Okay, let's look at the final outcome. Oh boy. So we want to change this. In a way, it doesn't even fit. Eight of Swords, a self-created prison. This is when you know what I want to say? I'm just getting in my own way here. I'm getting in my own way. And because it's self-created, you are the only one who can uncreate it. But when you do, it's freedom. With the Three of Pentacles right below it, it just gets a sense of maybe you were around people who just didn't believe in you, like who didn't see your true qualities. Well, shame on them. But you don't want to take that on as your own energy either. Interesting, because the Page of Cups is mirroring that. And that can certainly talk about, like, your emotional self. Especially if you truly want, well, ultimate love in your life. You know, we have to be able to give what it is that we want. And I may want, let's say, this abundance of the Nine of Pentacles, but I won't get it without my action. It just won't happen. I may want ultimate love, but if I never heal the past, do I not just bring all that confusion into the next? The answer is yes. And I feel like even though the Eight of Swords is here, I feel like we can turn that around. I definitely feel like we can turn that around. So let's keep going. All right, well, look at that on the bottom of the deck. Three of Cups. Ace of Wands underneath that. I'm going to be honest with you. First thing I felt with this is there could be something that I was doing, like maybe drinking a lot, and then it affected me, like actually taking action. I don't know why I'm picking that up, but I am. I feel like there's just something that, could be something that just helped you get through your day. It might have got out of control. Because I feel like it then became a block. Again, but a block that you can change. And Mother Mary also, like action. I take action related to the priorities that I have previously put off. Well, that's the Ace of Wands. All right, let's bring in the crystal vision and let's go deeper. All right, we're going to start with current energy. See what else wants to come out with that. Look at this, Judgment. Capricorn, over and over you're being called to the present moment. Judgment, that's your spiritual team. It's when they all come together because they really want your attention. They're telling you it's time for a rebirth, but you have to want it. And you may have to take some action steps, but here it is. So, patience, Mother Mary, then she sends action, right? The time for patience has now come to an end, and it's action time. And then Judgment comes out. Same thing. I need your attention in the present moment. Why? Because this is where I send you signs, synchronicities, guidance, whatever it is you need. Especially to allow yourself to have some type of a rebirth. Rebirth in love, money. And I have to say, I feel like both, which is only going to enhance your life. The Eight of Wands. What I think about, I bring about. Well, if we relate that to the Eight of Swords, it just brings me back more things to worry about. Again, think about the law of attraction. Think about energy. right? The energy I put out is what must meet me. So I feel like your spiritual team just wants you to be super aware of that right now because they need your help to help you. Okay. Three of Swords. And then the Five of Wands. Which is interesting because that adds up to an eight, which is a new beginning. And you have an eight right here also with temperate or judgment saying, it is time for a rebirth in your life. But look, there might be two. Again, money and love. I feel like this is saying for those who may still have a broken heart, maybe to analyze it, not overanalyze, but and I'm saying that because this is a Virgo card, and we can certainly overanalyze. I'm a Virgo, I know. Um, but I really feel like your spiritual team is saying, what broke your heart or who broke your heart in the past that probably caused you to create that Eight of Swords. They're telling you it was drama filled. It was ego based. It's, the Five of Wands is a type of energy to me that nobody wants to back down. Or if I expect an apology or someone to acknowledge their ways, probably won't get it. But here's the thing. Your spiritual team is saying you don't need it. You don't need it. Because this will be yesterday's news. Fleetwood Mac. It's like when we let go, really, of the things we probably couldn't control anyway. Because the one thing we can control is us. And right now, with the Eight of Swords, you may not feel completely in control. Wow. Lean on your spirit guides. Lean on them. That is their purpose. They want to help direct you. And I feel like their message is just be careful that, if you're still in the Three of Swords because of the Five of Wands, you can manifest, you know, like some may say, but I really want this back. And that is a personal choice, but I don't know. Like, it's drama, it's fighting, ego. What do I want back from that? Maybe I want someone to acknowledge that I am lovable. Well, you don't need it from them. Your spiritual team is telling you that. Not only are they telling you that you are lovable, but they're telling you there is someone who can love you in the way you truly deserve. But you got to meet that energy. There's no way around it. You got to meet that energy. And if you don't want to, that is your choice. You know what I mean? Like some may say, I don't want that cup. Say no to it. But that's not what your spirit guides want for you. And that tells me that's not what your soul truly wants because your spirit guides are really helping your soul to fulfill its wishes, your wishes, on a soul level. And the human part of us can take a while to catch up on that. Like what? So if I put myself, or if I'm willing to look at the past and say, oh wow, their loss, that helps you move forward. For some of you, you had to understand your worth. And it may have come through a difficult lesson, like a karmic lesson. And this may be exactly what I was picking up, like a karmic lesson that's been hanging on for a long time, wants to go, is ready to be completed. And by the way, if this is a karmic lesson and you say no more to it, it's like you cut those karmic ties. Lesson learned. And I promise you, every time you learn or complete, let's say, a karmic lesson, there's a blessing waiting for you. I've learned that. It's the way energy works. And, that queen, who I feel like is speaking her final piece, maybe that's what you're doing here. But then the mic drop, to me, means completion. No more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. I don't know why that song is just like coming up in every reading. All right, let's go down to the subconscious mind. Well, that didn't take long. Interesting. We have your major arcana. Look at this. Four of Wands reversed. The Tower reverse. Wow. I feel like some of you like put love on the side burner, on the back burner. And what you've been doing is working more like within your craft, whether that be a job, you know what I mean? But even, like Nine of Pentacles, the meaning of the card is successful self-employment, but it doesn't have to be self-employment. It can be raises. It can be, receiving a title. And I feel like some of you, that's what you've been concentrating on. And kind of putting love on the back burner. But it's not stopping it. It's just what will you do when it arrives? And, it is like some of you were saying, I can't take these towers anymore. I fall in love, get my heart broken, boom, tower. But I say this with kindness. Where is your own energy? Do you feel that you can love without exception? And I'm not talking about any old person, but let's just say the right person crosses your path. Do you just say no? It's interesting because I'm getting this mixed feeling of, like, I feel like the answer is yes, I say no. But then I feel like I have a feeling as it starts to actually happen, or the more you, let's say, relook at this energy, you may say, and I hope you're saying no to low vibrational love. No, I'm not interested. I don't want to teach someone how to love. I don't want to have to fix anyone. Done that. You've been there. Didn't work out. not in my favor. And the one thing I know I'm good at is creating abundance. So that's where I pour my energy. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's actually good. But I do have a feeling, because I do feel like there's a resistance down here, or I don't even know if resistance is the right word. I just feel like it's a simple like, no, I'm gonna concentrate on building up my own finances, my own security. Nine of Pentacles is a very independent energy. You know, you don't need someone else to come in and take care of you financially. However, it doesn't mean like if someone has no money or, is doing nothing to better their situation, that you would, what am I trying to say? I think what I'm trying to say is a better way of looking at this is saying that I'm just not interested in a lower vibrational energy relating to love. I want to know that it's true. And that comes partly with you clearing the past energy, though. Understand that. Like it's perfectly fine to say, I don't want love yet. I'm not looking at love yet. In there, healing. Couldn't be myself. But I feel like with this queen, if you're not this queen, this queen's gonna love you. And that's that. And I just want to say also, with your major arcana, first of all, I love that your major arcana is over the Nine of Pentacles. That's beautiful. But I also want to say, your major arcana speaks of temptations. And I felt that back here. Yeah, like, am I doing something like in a way to pacify? But I can't help but feeling like, and not that it's something out of control, but I feel like, who knows, maybe when I was going through this healing period and my heart was hurting, maybe I drank more than I should have. And then I just woke up the next day with the same issue, but now with a hangover. Because I do feel like something got in the way of your growth, but I feel like it's something you did, and I mean that with love. Um, and I feel like it's something that's changing now. Okay. Let's go to the past. Let's look at this Six of Cups. Who is this person? Who is making you feel nostalgic? Wow. The Eight of Swords again. It's almost like you are refusing someone. The Unknown card. Look at this. The Death card and the Queen of Cups. Death card is Scorpio. This may be a Scorpio for some of you. Wow. I feel like, wow. I feel like there's someone who loves you. But I feel what you're fearing is the unknown. The Death card is about transformation. It's about endings. But it is so a new door can open. And literally following the death card is the Queen of Cups again, who is in your near future. So this is interesting because I feel like, the Six of Cups can also be past lives. And it can be both. It can be in this lifetime, but also past lives, which tells me that you'd be soulmates the way that I'm picking it up right now. Like this would be soulmate energy. I don't feel like this is the karmic because I feel like that's what you dealt with, something karmic. I don't feel like this is that though. And I feel like the Eight of Swords, we now know why it's been created. It's within the uncertainty. And some of you could be uncertain about yourself or uncertain about a person. But I find it interesting that the Queen of Cups is part of this, and then the Queen of Cups is in your near future. Now, if you're a female and you're into men, this can be the King of Cups. Understand that. Wherever you feel you fit, put yourself, because I feel like you're like all people, unless I just feel it differently. But that's our guides who put that within me. So it's very clear to me why the Eight of Swords is created in the first place. And I get it, right? Like, how do I know? How do I know? I guess you don't know unless you give it an opportunity. You don't have to. But it feels like this is divine timing. And by the way, again, something that I picked up before the reading was there was something, I don't know, maybe your soul was longing for. But the human part of you may have like shut that down. But now the soul is speaking again. So this queen feels very much like she is meant to be, she or he is meant to be part of, well, I mean, look what she's following, the Four of Wands. Really the most beautiful love card, if you ask me. This is making a true commitment. And maybe some of you are asking yourself that, can I make a true commitment? Am I ready to make this type of commitment? Because I feel like this is the type of commitment, once you make it, you're not making it like, I don't feel like this is about, like, I want to date. Not that I'm saying you shouldn't, but for some of you, I feel like your soul already knows. Let's just leave it at that. Your soul already knows, and your human part might be catching up. If your spiritual team has anything to do about it, it will. All right, let's look at the conscious mind and see what it's mirroring. Hello, full. Beautiful. A new beginning, a leap of faith. This is trusting that your past experiences really did teach you. And that's what you take along with you, the wisdom of your experiences, not the actual experiences. This is what you've been healing. But it is now your wisdom. And now taking a leap of faith becomes easier. Interesting. I definitely feel like if I want my best shot here, well, number one, the Four of Swords is that energy of healing. And in that energy, there has to have been some type of awareness. And, I don't want to overthink this again because I feel like it's simply not that you don't want this connection, but can you be interesting? Because I feel like it's more you. Like, can I be all that I know I need to be for a connection to truly last? And I already know the answer to that. It's yes. But I have to, again, like maybe re examine at least the way I'm thinking. Eight of Swords, it is limited thoughts, but it's also an illusion. It can be self talk. I won't be good in love. I can't create abundance for myself. I won't. But we need to change that around. Not only can I, but watch me. The Fool. It's asking you to take a leap of faith. It's starting at a zero. Look at this, the Four of Cups. Well, I already knew that. So the Four of Cups speaks about discontentment or boredom within one's emotional world. Four of Cups wants you to use your spiritual discernment. This is how you safeguard yourself, so to speak. Your spiritual discernment. Because in the Four of Cups, there's a cup coming in. And it is coming from the hand of divine. And unfortunately, we can't really see it in this image. Though we do see one cup, look how big it is. And we see the queen already holding that cup. Interesting, because the Fool's asking you to just take a leap of faith. And that, and it doesn't have to mean like right off the bat, I'm making a commitment with someone, but I'm going to give it a chance, an opportunity. And you know what I feel like it's going to bring you, Capricorn? Is emotional fulfillment. And because I feel like financially, I'm not going to say you're rich, though some of you may be. Though, as I say rich, I feel like we all, like I remember times in my life when I had nothing, yet it was the happiest time in my life. You know what I mean? Like material things don't matter here. It's not saying that you shouldn't have, a nice home, nice furnishing, whatever. But that comes like on the ladder of what's important, that is the least important on a spiritual lens. Not that like it's wrong to want to have all that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is truly the material part of life. Though for some of you, I feel like your soul had more than one goal, which I know that. Like our souls don't come down here just for one reason, love. I feel like love is a big reason. But I feel like there's many things, well, our soul came to evolve, to learn and to grow, to have experiences. When I see the Eight of Swords, especially twice, I often feel like if we, let's say, left this world today and we're now, the wiser soul because we've lived life, and those younger souls come to us like, tell us what Earth is like. Some are going to say, well, it sucks. I got stuck, and that's where I stayed. And others are going to say, well, let me tell you about my adventures. Some were good, some were hard, and some were beautiful. That's what your soul craves. Okay, let's go to the Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups holds a lot of power in your reading. Look at this, the Page of Cups. Wow. So I think I said down here, because the Page of Cups is also in the U position. And I do feel like a page is also what's in the atmosphere. And here it's a cup. It's very clear. It wants us to see that cup. And now this page is right over the Queen. Now, it's interesting because the Six of Cups is mirroring that. And this can be the younger version of this Queen. Okay. I want to stay with the Queen for a second. Oh my God. Capricorn. Deny if you must. But here it is. You don't have to accept it, but it is love. It's undeniable. I feel it. I feel like this is true love. Unconditional love. And you can walk right by it if you want. My God, I hope you don't. Everything is pointing to this. Again, not just love, also love of what you do, also recognition and reward, healing. All of this has been an important component. But now, especially with the Four of Cups here, which is discontentment and boredom or unsatisfaction within my emotional world. And a cup literally comes in the Four of Cups. And now the Fool is like, do you take that leap? Four of Wands is representing what type of love this is. So I love that it's a four, number one, because that talks about a strong foundation. Like these couples have an opportunity to create love. But if it's starting from a strong foundation, maybe you're friends that then become lovers. Interesting. Well, we can't deny it anymore. Not that I was trying, but I feel some of you are like trying to deny it. And again, you can walk on by, or you can just take a step in, feel what the water feels like. This cup is built on a lotus flower, the strongest flower there is. You know, and it's interesting because the lotus flower reminds me of Scorpio, because Scorpio's energy is comfortable with any energy. I didn't do Scorpio's reading yet, and I'm not saying it has to be a Scorpio. But boy, for some of you, I just know it is. All right, let's keep going. Now let's look at you, especially with everything on the table. Oh my God. Oh my God. Get out of here. Capricorn, look at this. Look at this. Not only the Ten of Pentacles, the House of Abundance. By the way, you have the Nine of Pentacles, which now is moving into the Ten of Pentacles. It tells me you're not alone. But if that wasn't good enough, we have the Ten of Cups. Like, do you think your team is trying to get a message to you? This is the house of love, harmony, laughter. I feel people dancing, chasing each other in playful type of energy. Boy, I feel like making love, truly making love. This is a house that can withstand a lot. Because I feel in the Ten of Pentacles, it's rooted. It may have been rooted for many years. Look at this. Look what you're getting. Look at the abundance. You know, I feel like what this is also saying is it's giving you comfort of mind. Because in the Nine of Pentacles, you're independent. You may be by yourself, or some of you may be in a relationship, but about ready to give that mic drop. And then you start in this new path as the whole. I would not be surprised if some type of energy keeps welling up within you, emotional. Because I feel like if I'm honest, and I know this is not going to be for everyone, but I feel like if I'm honest, I may be doing fine or know that I can take care of myself, let's just say. And I do feel like you're creating abundance for yourself. But I feel like someone else is going to be with you. Not just within your abundance, but within love. I mean, wow. I feel like we need to see that Ace of Cups very clearly. You know, emotional discontentment within my emotional life. A cup is coming in. Here is that cup. Turns into the Ten of Cups. Boom. The Nine of Pentacles. Maybe I put the action in. I see the fruits of my benefit, or I see the fruits of my labor. But then whoever I fall, like whoever this is, they are not here to deplete your life. They're here to make your life better. And you theirs, by the way, also. This is soulmate energy. I don't need to see it to believe it. I don't know why I just said that. I may have some doubting Thomases out there. Till I see it, I won't believe it. But this is energetic. This is energy. All right. Your hopes, where are we at? No, external. We have the Page of Wands, the Hangman. Slow down, you move too fast. Too bad. It's time to move. This is blowing me away. Because now you take this Ace of Pentacles, add it to the Nine of Pentacles. There's our Ten of Pentacles. Ace of Cups, Ten of Cups. This tells you that this is something that is either in your physical world now or will be. But the Hangman is right before it. And then the Strength card. You know, it's like the Ace of Pentacles is a reward for the things that you've overcome, for how you now understand yourself. And that's what the Strength card is about. It is a look within ourselves. Like it's knowing that shadow self, giving it a name. Like Sandy number 2. I see you. I know you. And I'll call you when I need you. This is the strength to overcome. And by the way, it's all coming over the healing energy. But even that, I feel like, because we have the Page of Wands and then the Hangman, and remember, the Hangman is seeking spiritual wisdom to use on this earthly plane. And the Page of Wands is very much like my Fool, the risk taker. But it feels like action. And it pulls me the whole way back to Mother Mary again, where there was patience in the Hangman. I see quite a few energies where patience was required. But it feels like, like this reading feels like the more you know you, and the more you're really honest with yourself, don't judge yourself in a negative way. We all have the good, the bad, and the ugly. But once you learn to balance that, wow, you live a whole different type of life. And it feels like, again, karmic closure, a new beginning. But this tells you that this is something that's coming into your physical world. And it feels like a blessing for the work that you have done on yourself, your own shadow work, allowing yourself to heal, right? Not dragging past pains and heartache and those who didn't love us the way that we know we now deserved. Sometimes people just don't know how, or they themselves have walls up. I don't feel like this is in any way talking about you helping someone else bring their walls down. I feel like that's already in the making. Like, I feel like your spiritual team is like, we've got this plan all together, but it can't happen without you. It cannot happen without you, but you give the word and hang on to your hat. Holy cow. This is why I love reading tarot. And this is why I take my time. I feel like every flip of the cards are it's an important energy for us to consider. All right. Three Pentacles. Your hopes, your fears. Look at that. Justice. Justice. So, again, karmic. Karmic. The karmic completion. Justice asks you to use this sword, which is yours. And it's given to you as a gift, like your intuition, your whole lifetime to use whenever you need it, whenever you feel like it's time to cut ties. I feel like your spiritual team is now asking you to cut those ties of limited belief, cut those ties that love cannot work out. Think of everything differently now. Like, this just may be my time. You know, when it's not, let's say, divine timing, it doesn't mean our guides aren't doing anything in the background. They may be helping your soulmate at the time. Because it's important that both soulmates' cups be equally filled. This is you letting go of the past. And I feel very proud of you. Like, I feel like you're using this sword. And you're using this sword on the people who did not believe in you. Who told you you wouldn't, you couldn't, you're not lovable. That's what I say to them. Adios. Adios, amigos. Ciao. Also card of labor, by the way. Just gotta throw that in there. The King of Wands just flipped itself around, coming over the Eight of Swords, and that makes sense, right? Because in the upright, this is passion. It's coming in. You can't deny it. Well, you can deny it, but you can't deny feeling it. Yet, you know, does the Eight of Swords block future opportunities? How could it not? Number one, this person has a blindfold on. Something they don't want to face. It feels like it's something within now. Number two, those swords that we put up, those walls, we feel they protect us. But that's not true. It's your intuition that protects you. Truly, your intuition. And in the Eight of Swords, it's hard to pay attention to your intuition. It's hard to notice your spiritual signs with a blindfold on. So you are stopping this energy from reaching you. However, I do feel like that's going to turn around. So I want to look a little bit deeper at that. Hello, Ace of Swords. Now there's your real truth. This is you living by your sword. What's that saying? I live and die by the sword. I don't mean that, other than to say you live and die by the truth. Your truth. Look at the beautiful roses about to climb up this sword. And the beautiful butterflies. You know what it feels like to me? It feels like your spiritual team, but like the loved ones that you lived life with, celebrating the potential of this potential match. It's like it's saying, deny me if you must. But I am real. I am truthful. and I am yours. But if you gotta deny me, then you gotta deny me. I don't want to leave it on that. Because honestly, I don't want you to deny it. But it doesn't matter what I want. We have the sun and the wheel. And it's interesting because they both came in reverse. But that doesn't negate that this is your destiny. That tells me this person is destined in your life. Again, I'm not going to say you have to accept it. Because I just feel like some of you are not going to accept it. And then the sun. It's your illuminator. You know, the sun tells you that anything done in the dark will come to the light when the sun is out. The shadows cannot hide when the sun is out. So everything is clear. But for some reason, you're not letting the sun in. And it's that blindfold. This is your destiny, whether I accept it or not. Whether I accept them or I don't. Whether I choose the light or the shadow. I'm not going to leave them in reverse because that is not the way they want to be. You know, and let's just look at what it's mirroring. The Ten of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles. And the Ace of Swords feels like it's just backing everything up. Like this is your true soulmate. And why do I feel like I'm trying to talk you into it? Because that is never my goal. Like, what good would it do for me to talk you into something? This feels like your guides want you to feel it. Because you are the one who's going to have to take that leap of faith. But the Chariot being the very first card, and what it represents, first of all, the balance of the feminine and the masculine. Well, here, it may literally be talking about the balance of two people, and each needing to be balanced. And then it really, truly becomes unlimited potential. You know, the thing with the Chariot, the only time there's restriction is if we put it on there. Like these cards in reverse is restriction. And I feel like you're allowing the Chariot to move ahead as it relates to your money, and I feel like it's paying off. But I can't ignore this emotional unsatisfaction, especially when I feel like your soul's prayer is being answered. All right, this calls for the romance angels. I was not going to bring them out, but my God, does this reading call for them? You know, I feel like I might title your reading, Deny Me If You Must, but that doesn't stop my love. All right. Flirt. Extend your light-hearted energy to others. Worth waiting for. Wow. Divine timing is at work in your love life. right now. Right now, Capricorn. Divine timing is at work in your love life. It's everywhere. It's telling you it's worth the wait. But the wait feels like it's over. I feel like what it's saying with flirt, it kind of reminds me of the Fool. Like taking a step in and allowing yourself to enjoy the moment. Because that moment may activate your heart chakra. Like your guides are going to do whatever they can do to help bring this together. But at the end of the day, it really is you that's going to make that decision. But man, I feel like the heavens are just waiting. And there's no judgment. If you say no, you say no. They're like, oh well, maybe next time. But if you say yes, or you just step into this, give it a chance, wow, I feel like the heavens will be celebrating. You'll probably hear a bell. That's interesting. Some of you are going to hear, oh, okay. Some of you may hear like, well, it sounds like a bell. And you may hear it today. Well, the day that I release the reading. Or let's just say within the next 3 days. Interesting, I'm saying 3 days. You're going to hear a bell. Something that feels like a bell. Sounds like a bell. And that's your spiritual sign. Now, that's just one of many, but I feel like someone needed that. Like, I need a clear message. Well, I mean, not that this isn't a clear message. What I mean is like you may be saying to your guides, if this is truly the one, then send me a sign that I cannot deny. And they will. And they are. Some of you, it can be through songs. Like, if you know who this person is, it may be a song that just reminds you of them. Like, out of the blue, it starts playing. Some of you, you're going to see something on a license plate. That's interesting. So you're going to be driving, and the person in front of you is going to have, who knows, maybe they have the word bell spelled out or something. However, I also want to say fours. Like you may see like 444, 1111. Oh my gosh, there's so many different signs. Now, something else you can do is ask your guys to send me a sign that I know is for me that is telling me that this love is safe and fulfilling. Now, I have to say, the first thing your guides would say, trust your own energy. But we're more than happy to send that sign. So ask for it. I feel like ask for it, and ye shall receive it. Capricorn. What a beautiful, abundant reading this is. Yes, of course, there's a few issues. It wouldn't be real life if there wasn't. And this is why my readings are longer. You know, I could have just left it after the spread. But listen, I am so happy I went deeper because it revealed so much. Divine timing is at work in your love life. That's just that. And so it is. And so it is. I love you. Thank you. I'll see you. Did I even say this was for February? I hope I did. Um, I want to say stay aware. Stay aware. Because you won't miss the signs if you're aware. In other words, stay in current energy. This is what your guides are asking for too, because they want to help. They want you to be as comfortable as possible, though knowing it may be a little fearful. Something will tell you that it is right at the same time. So, whatever you choose, I wish you nothing but abundance and true love. And so it is. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.